The increasing tendency or trend for computer users to return to their employer's workplace as their main place of work has shown, in our experience, some worrying trends where we've noticed that those people, or some of those people, are working at workstations that have gone out of adjustment when they've been away from the workplace, or indeed are not the same workstation that they had, that is computer DSE workstation, before they left working at their employer's workstation and worked from home for a while. So all these things affect health and safety, comfort and productivity. So we thought we'd do a brief video with some tips on how to set your workstation up. So with no more ado, one of the most important things to do when beginning to set your workstation up is to check that your seat height is correct. Normally on most chairs there's a gas lift lever. Just relieve your weight from the chair and move the lever until the seat cushion height is at the level that you want. In reverse, you would do the reverse, keep your weight on the seat, but some of it in your legs and control the descent from your legs, because you don't want the chair to compress on its gas lift, or to have the gas lift telescope down and have impact through the gas lift, through the mechanism and through the seat of the chair. That's something we really want to avoid. Again, do check that you are moving the right lever. Most levers have got markings on them showing what they do. It's very easy to mistake one for the other and actuate a function you're not prepared for. That's not good. Just check your lever, make sure you're doing the right one. Ideally, the height of the work surface should be such that you can adjust your chair to a level where your forearms and arms are level and horizontal with the ground, and that your hands are just gently resting on the work surface. You don't want your elbows lower or higher, but approximately this position is sort of comfortable for me. If you are working at a height adjustable desk, and if it is one of those desks that's got a frame that allows it to go lower than the norm, then of course you can lower the desk to a point which allows you to lower the chair and have your feet supported by the floor, which is really, really handy, because if you haven't got that, and if working at the right level removes support for your feet from the floor, then you really do need to introduce a footrest, like so. Also, if you're taller than the average, although I don't know what the average is today, but if you are tall, then of course with a height adjustable desk, it's not just for sit-stand working, it's also so that you can adjust the work surface height to a height that's comfortable for you. So again, with your feet supported by the floor with an approximate 90-degree angle here, you should adjust the work surface so it's at a level where you can rest your hands level on the work surface and have your forearms parallel to the floor. Having adjusted the desk height, we're now concerned with monitor height. If you have a gas lift or gas spring monitor arm on your monitor or monitors, if it is adjusted properly, and I'll come back to that in a moment, but if it is adjusted properly, it should just be a matter of moving it until it's at the right level, and for most people that is level with the top of your eyebrows. Now, no prizes for noticing that this may not be exactly level with the top of my eyebrows. You need the perspective of a colleague who's going to stand to the side of the workstation and check that that's okay. Also, check that you've just raised and angled up the bottom of the monitor screen slightly, because that helps reduce reflection and glare in most circumstances. If you haven't got a gas spring or a gas lift actuated monitor arm, probably you've got a monitor arm that's got a pole and a clamp at the base of the sleeve here, and you will have to undo the clamp and raise and lower the sleeve to a point where the screens are at the right height for your individual need. Again, level with your eyebrows or thereabouts. Word of advice here: if you've got weak hands or you find it difficult holding things, get somebody who's competent and fit enough to do it, to assist you to do it. Also be aware that most desks are 70 centimetres to 80 centimetres deep, and doing that from the position of being in your chair is really just asking for it where pulling your back is concerned. Please avoid doing that. There are many other types of monitor arms in the marketplace that work in slightly different ways, but those two generally cover most bases. I mentioned that there was concern about monitor arms at the beginning of this part, and what I mean is that in a lot of instances we've gone to attend somebody at their workstation and found that the gas spring tension adjustment on the monitor arm has not been adjusted properly. So their monitor screens are either flopping down and they can't raise them, or they're too high and they can't lower them. Again, get a suitably qualified and competent person, fit person within your organisation to adjust that for you if necessary. Monitor distance really is about an arm's length away, plus or minus a little bit. We take for granted the monitor screens on computers today so much, because really, compared to what they were like years ago, they're just in a different universe, really. But please check the contrast, brightness, and colour saturation on your monitor, and also check that text clarity is good enough. All these things are generally adjustable through modern monitors and modern computers, and if you've got the adjustment there, why go for years with something that's less good than it could be, because on the compound basis, something that's not good enough can sometimes compound to be a problem. That covers a PC computer, but what happens if you've got a laptop? And what happens if you've got a laptop where you haven't got a separate monitor screen and separate keyboard to dock into? Well, there are straightforward ways of dealing with that. So we'll go to another workstation now. So here we have a facsimile of a laptop. It's not a real laptop, but it's meant to represent one. Helps with when we're doing heated demonstrations, in case it gets knocked on the floor or something when we're enthusing about the latest product. But anyway, back to the laptop. Here's the screen. It's too low. It causes the head to be cranked down and the person to move away and lean away from the support of the backrest, both of which can cause discomfort and possibly stress. Hope not, but possibly stress in certain individuals. It needs raising to the right level, and to do this we can introduce a laptop riser like this, which again is quite adjustable, and set it up like that. Now again, no prizes for noticing this, but this is probably just a bit too low in relation to my eye line. If that's the case, this manufacturer, like most of the manufacturers we deal with, do variations on the same theme or completely different laptop holders to give you either higher, lower or special angle requirements. Suffice it to say that if you need a solution, let us know. We can generally provide it. So having raised the laptop to more or less the right height, we then need an outboard keyboard. This is a mini keyboard. It has the advantage of not having a number pad here, so it allows us to get the mouse in closer to the centre line and reduce what I call, somebody's bound to disagree with this term, but I call it mouse creep, because what happens is the mouse just generally creeps away and they end up sitting in the wrong way. Nevertheless, most mini keyboards have more or less full-size keys or there or thereabouts keys, so they're not only pad portable, they not only allow you to align your mouse better for comfort, but they free up space on the work surface. And so there you have it, laptop riser, mini keyboard, outboard mouse, and as they say in the business, you're away. So let's go back to our original work area. Again, alignment of the keyboard and mouse is very, very important. And although this may sound obvious, what tends to happen in some work areas, in some workstations, is that the user, the computer user, puts their documents flat on the work surface like this. So they end up stretching to the side of their keyboard gets misaligned like this, the mouse goes out there, their body's pointing this way, look, my hips are this way, so they're skewing themselves all day long. It's important to align your keyboard properly. Most keyboards have adjustable feet. It's important to deploy them to get a comfortable angle. Also, what is necessary is enough room in front of the keyboard to rest the wrists and or forearms as necessary. And to do that, you may need a wrist rest like so. This one is specifically made for this particular keyboard here. Mouse mat is also very, very important. The reason why is with laser tracking, lots and lots of people think that you don't need mouse mats anymore. Well, we tend to disagree with that, because as good as a mouse is, and even though it's got glide pads, most mice have glide pads on them, they have a hard surface, and that on the average MFC surface desk, and most desks have that sort of surface or a similar surface in the workplace, creates a slightly, don't know if you can hear that, but a slightly graty feeling. Now, that's nothing for a couple of seconds, but when you're mousing all day long, 5 days a week, and sometimes longer than that, it's really important to get a smooth surface that you can have a smooth, linear, progressive action with, because that helps reduce stress and improve comfort. This is a purpose-made mouse mat, and it's got a very good quality covering on it. I personally, subjectively, find it a superb piece of kit, and very much performance and comfort enhancing for when compared to its reasonable cost. Okay, so document holders, very, very important. Coming back to this twisting again to documents that are at the side of a keyboard, an inline document holder really is a boon. Really does work very, very well. It's a place to put your documents on, and I've got my crib sheets here, and I do assure you it makes it much, much easier looking at my notes here than if they were down there. They can be altered in height, like so, and so if you've got some heavy, well, this one can be altered in height, like that. It's got a special mechanism on it. Also, it can be used as a writing slope. So you can bring this over the keyboard like that, and write on it like this, providing you're just putting reasonable pressure on it. But this one's a pretty solid piece of kit, I assure you. And also, if you've got the right fitment there, so you've got nothing near your wrist. But a brilliant piece of kit, this one here. And to lower it, it's quite simple. You can do that, move it away. So it really does work very well. And in a sense, it gives you back the work surface area that's taken up by the keyboard, in a sense. So that, from a productivity point of view and space point of view, that's very, very good. Okay, so let's go back to the chair now. We've set the desk height, or if it's a fixed height desk, the chair height up at the right level. We've positioned our peripherals correctly. Now, what we want to do is make sure the chair itself is set up properly. Now, there are an enormous amount of chair mechanisms in the marketplace. Just when you think you've seen them all, somebody brings something new out, and that's progress. But the two most popular ones in our experience are a 3-lever mechanism. It's 1, 2, 3-lever mechanism there, and a synchro mechanism. And we've done a separate video on this, which again, if you get in contact with me, I'd be delighted to send you a link to. And that covers a lot of bases. Where there are different chair mechanisms, do approach the manufacturer or your supplier and get some advice. Setting up your chair properly is really, really important. On the 3-lever mechanism chair, the way to do it is, once you've adjusted the height right relative to the work surface, is to unlock the backrest lever. Again, always look down, always make sure you're lifting the correct lever for the function that you require, so you don't have an unexpected movement that you can't cope with. So lift that lever up like that, hands comfortably on the keyboard with the wrist rest positioned where you need it for intermittent support, and then just move your back forwards and back, your back forwards and backwards until you've got it in a comfortable upright position where you're neither slumping nor slouching, but comfortable. And then lock the backrest up and cease up. Having done that, there's also the matter of backrest height to be dealt with. On this particular chair, it's a ratchet mechanism, which is simply moved like so. If you need to get, there's no levers, you just lift the backrest. If you need to go lower, then you go past the last notch and let it drop. The reason why I'm standing out of the chair is I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't put your hands behind you and move a backrest up and down like that. If you ever see me doing it, don't tell me off because I've been around chairs for a long time, but I think that's a really good way of asking to strain your back if you're not prepared for it, and if you have some sort of back weakness there. I read today somewhere that we spend 18 years of our life sitting. A very good proportion of that is in the workplace. So it's really, really important to get chair adjustment right. Once you've got the backrest to the right height, and you can generally feel where the lumbar curve is, then if your chair is equipped with an inflatable lumbar support, you can pump that up until it is just giving gentle but firm support. Nothing too aggressive. You certainly don't want a karate punch in the back. You just want gentle and firm support where it suits you. Remember with this as well, that you, as well as inflating it, you can deflate it to the level that you want. And also please remember, just like car tyres, the air in there will dissipate, you will need to pump it up. If you have any special back issues, please make sure that you get your chair checked to make sure that it's right for you. Please make sure that you're aware whether or not having an inflatable lumbar support pumped up is acceptable to you and your body, as we're all different. Okay, An eyesight test, this is a function of you and how you interface with your workstation and how you affect your workstation. You should check with your employer your eligibility for eye and eyesight tests. It's very important to check that your eyesight is up to par and that you have the correct eye assistance where necessary to work comfortably on your computer. If you are a regular DSE user, or you can be classified as a DSE user, you should also check that your DSE assessment is still valid for the workstation that you're at. As I said, many people have come back to the workplace and found that they're in a different desk, or there's been major alterations to their workstations. And if there has been, it is possible that you may need a new DSE assessment or an update to your DSE assessment. Ask your DSE professional for advice on this. When you are actually working at a computer workstation, and this goes for whether or not you're in the workplace or at home or whatever, make sure that you have regular breaks. It's a general consensus of opinion in our industry that a computer user shouldn't work for longer than an hour without taking a brief break away from their workstation. So that's away from the desk, away from the computer, away from the VDU screen. For some people, this may need to be done more frequently, but that's really important. As I said, 18 years of sitting in the average lifetime, that's a long time to sit, and a lot of that is doing your day-to-day work for your career. So please be very, very diligent where that's concerned. And last but not least, whether or not you are working full-time now back in your employer's workplace, or whether you are still working from home part of the time, if you're still working from home part of the time, the regulations basically say that if this is routinely split between and the operative word here is routinely, split between your employer's workplace and your home workplace, then you still need a home working assessment. If you permanently work at home, then you will need a home working assessment if you can be designated as a computer user. Check with your DSE provider professional within your organisation there. So that's it. I hope you find it of interest. Please remember, we just love receiving calls from people to qualify what we've been talking about, if they have any questions about what we're doing. We are a people company. You get through to people here and speak to somebody that either knows about our products or can put you in touch with somebody within the organisation that understands the products. So we're very service orientated and we very much enjoy what we do. I hope you found this video of interest. Thank you. My name's Pasquale Nancy. My company is Ufficio, and I can be contacted on 01 462 681 370. Goodbye.